Just after some Wike's outburst at his media chat or some days ago, that was on Monday, where he was talking about how he's not sure, if a reconciliation between him and Fubara is going to work. He also mentioned the fact that, he hasn't heard from Fubara nor seen him since Fubara came to his house with, some governors to beg him. He also, expressed uncertainty regarding the reconciliation, talking about the fact that Fubara hasn't yet, met with the River State lawmakers and, the two factions together. He went ahead to say that he's not only the one, who Seminala Fubara needs to make peace with, but he also needs to, meet with those people. Anyway, guys, we are now seeing that Fubara has met with Tinubu yesterday, and this is making it the second time that Seminala Fubara is meeting with the president. Let's not forget that their first meeting was when Fubara traveled abroad and met with Tinubu in London. Now, this is the second meeting where we see Seminala Fubara travel down to Lagos. If you don't already know, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in Lagos, for the Muslim holiday, and he has been in Lagos since, I think, last weekend. There was Okoye's anniversary this weekend. There was the commissioning of Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway as well, all of which President Bola Ahmed has attended, and he would still stay on in Lagos for the Muslim holiday that is supposed to hold later this week. Before we delve right into the details of today's news, if this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Please go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button. Most importantly, click on the notification bell so that you will be the first person to get notified whenever we upload a new video. I think that there's somebody somewhere who told Seminala Fubara that you need to parley with the president. Although of recent we've heard rumors that Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave Fubara some conditions, one of which is the fact that he needs to defect, and that Seminala Fubara is also planning to defect to the All Progressive Congress, because that way he thinks that is the only way he can be reinstated back as the governor of River State. It seemed like somebody, has told Fubara that, make sure you go close to the president. And if you guys remember, if you do not forget, when around the time that the state of emergency was announced, I expressed the fact that I think that Seminala Fubara is not or wasn't palling enough with the president. He wasn't, communicating. He wasn't, giving him feedback, which was why the president felt like Fubara wasn't doing anything about the situation. And, when the situation escalated, he felt like he should put Seminala Fubara on suspension as well, not just, only declaring the state of emergency. But now we are seeing him, moving close to the president, moving close to, the big weights in politics, people that have the power, people that have that position, to make things better or convenient, should we say, for him as governor in River State. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Tuesday held a closed-door meeting with suspended River State Governor Seminala Fubara at his residence in Lagos. The meeting marks the first official engagement between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Governor Fubara since the later suspension from office. This is not, okay, let's just say it's the first official, because the first time they met in London, like I said. Recall that Tinubu in March declared an emergency rule in the state, that is River State, following heightened tension between Fubara and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. The development led to his suspension from office. I am hoping that, in a couple of days, we get to find out the details and the things that was discussed at this said closed-door meeting. Before we go, my people, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Boniface Etem says, I hope this failed president called Tinubu will remain as president till death, and even after death will continue to rule. Otherwise, all these trashes from his Yoruba bigots would think they are better off and in perfect control to loot this country dry and enslave the poor masses who amount to nothing, rather than a display of ignorance which shall be paid for. Abolari Kayode says, at a time during Obasanjo, PDP had 31 states. Did Nigeria become one-party state? The clan Okudili says, I thought you said your mind is no longer in the government house. Let's not lie. That one was just him trying to put on the facade for where he's no longer interested. He's no longer interested. Okay. I think maybe probably at that point he has been so much frustrated that he was just, thinking of different things, that even if it doesn't work, I cannot come and die. I cannot kill myself on top governorship matter. And probably that was what he thought about, before making that statement. But obviously, he's still interested, because if he's not interested, he would not go and meet Tinubu in Lagos, having a closed door with Tinubu. Ajeka Alilu says, well, Fubara is now learning the ethics of today's politics. Exactly what I said at the beginning of this video. I think that somebody just told him, or probably he just realized by himself, that if you want to play politics, you need to play it. You need to play it the way it is being played. A lot of people have said that Seminala Fubara is not a typical politician, which I understand, which I recognize, because it's not even moving like that. A lot of politicians, even before the state of emergency, would have been visiting Aso Rock, giving the president updates, would have been going from one heavyweight politician to the other, trying to garner their support. Unlike what he was doing then, by just, sitting down and believing that, the problem would just dissolve into thin air and, miraculously solve itself. Obviously, the problem ended up not solving itself. It ended up, becoming something big. But thankfully now, at least it's drawing close to the president. And like I expressed one time, it is not just Wike who is now giving the president feedback. He's also getting feedback from Seminala Fubara. So it's not like he's getting one side of a story, or like what they initially believed, that, Fubara, demolished the complex and never even began building. It was when the administrator, began his administration, that he later on announced publicly that, the building was actually in progress. Or like what the president had been made to believe, that, that the building was just demolished and nothing was done after that. Anthony says, if all the 36 states now becomes APC, government states, the motive of democracy is now defeated, just because Tinubu was allowed to be president of Nigeria. Another comment from Michael Agbola says, Fubara is just going through the training of Nigerian politics. He has just been baptized. Instead of listening to those stomach infrastructure leaders in Rivers State, I think even before the state of emergency, he was just sitting there in Rivers State, listening to only those elders. When trouble came, even the elders could not do anything to save him. And now I think he has understand. Now he understands the concept of politics more. Olajide Tomiwa says, Joseph passed through the same challenge. Fubara will definitely come out good. The result must be A1, while the lecturer, who said he will fail, be put to shame. You all, let's have your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section. What do you all think of this? Thank you very much for always listening and watching, guys. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.